Can you see me, also hear me?
Yes, Timoleon.
Great. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present my thesis. I have presented this thesis in February, so right now I have fulfilled all the requirements for my PhD. The title is Digital and AI Transformation for Creating Business Value and Innovation. And we can start with the contents. We have the introduction, the theoretical background, then we identify research gaps in the literature and we define the research approach of this thesis. And for this thesis, we have four studies. We have a preliminary study with 400 digital small business in Greece, a survey. Then we have another survey with medium and big businesses also in Greece. Then in the second main study, we frame technologies in the context of digital transformation, exploiting case studies including MODAPTO project. And then we have one of the biggest surveys of AI with approximately 1,600 companies globally. And finally, we will present the contributions and the future research of this thesis. Of course, the only constant in life is change, and that's why transformation and business transformation is so important. As you can see, digital transformation is still an uncharted territory, as we can see from many publications in business magazines from the business community in general, and also the market of digital transformation. We can see that is expected to grow very fast, and the AI segment is expected to have the fastest growth rate, as you can see from a market report of Markets and Markets. And now we have a new wave of digital transformation. This is AI transformation. We can see it from the dialogue of business community, and also there are publications included. One of our publications in MODAPTO, we presented in the International Conference of Engineering and Innovation in Madeira last year. We introduced also the term AI transformation as a new frontier of digital transformation. And next, I will present some of the research motivation, the importance behind this thesis. We can see that digital transformation is a strategic response from organizations aimed to be improved, a strategic imperative on leadership agenda, and also it is mandatory for businesses. And we can see that academics and practitioners have increasingly focused on digital transformation, and this is evidence from the search of publications also. Nevertheless, there are inconsistencies in what digital transformation means and ambiguities in the outcomes. And so DT has been so broadly used and misused that it's becoming very confusing for researchers to understand the term digital transformation. Another challenge here is that despite the significant investments in digital technologies, we see that companies struggle to yield the most out of the investments, and thereby facing a digital paradox. And this is evident for Harvard Business Review and other business reports, that companies invest in technologies, but they can't see real business value, and this is problematic. To this end, this thesis aims to understand how digital technologies can create business value and drive innovation through business transformation. And we can see that the digital transformation is a multidisciplinary research field, including information systems management, strategic management, innovation market management, marketing management, and also operations management. And here we can see the phases of digital transformation. Till now, there is established literature about the digitization, that is when we convert digital analog information to digital. We have then digitalization, what is the exploitation of digital technologies to improve the process of companies and digitalize them and automate them. And then we have digital transformation, that is a generic, very broad disruption in the whole organization. And right now we are in a next level of AI transformation, that is the integration of AI technologies across all pillars of an organization, as we can see in the following slides. Here you can see our theoretical lens for this thesis. There is a publication in Technovation from Gong and Ribier that defines the term of digital transformation as a fundamental change process enabled by the innovative use of digital technologies, accompanied by the strategic leverage of key resources and capabilities aiming to radically improve an entity and redefine its value proposition for its stakeholders. That is our theoretical lens. This theoretical lens derives from an analysis of extensive definitions and papers regarding digital transformation. Is very robust, but we need a more practical perspective, because as this topic is very also near to practice, we need a practitioner-oriented framework, and for this reason we use as a practitioner lens for digital transformation a framework presented from Doukidis, Spinellis and Ebert in one of the journals of IEEE. When it comes to digital transformation from practitioner perspective, here we have customer experience transformation, that is comprehends customer needs, upgrade customer needs, and automate and digitalize sales process. We have business process transformation, we have business model transformation and organizational transformation. As we can see, there are 3 dimensions for its pillar, and merging these theoretical and practical frameworks, we can use our research model for this thesis. This model is exactly the same as Gong and Ribier, but we have incorporated 2 modifications. We define the change process definition based on Doukidis et al. And its 4 transformation pillars, as you can see. And also we have separated business model innovation as a separated outcome, elevated from the capability-driven category due its broad organizational impact and strong link to key outcomes in the literature. You can see here that the digital transformation is a change process across customer experience, business process business model, organization transformation of an entity. An entity can be an organization, and business network, an industry, or a society, and enabled by innovative use of technologies. On the one side, we have the technologies, but also need strategic leverage of key organizational capabilities and resources, aiming, of course, to have some outcomes, to allow outcomes, including economic outcomes, new capabilities, and innovation outcomes. And of course, the aim is to reinforce an existing value proposition of a company and also redefine the value proposition for stakeholders. This is our framework, and here I will briefly present the gaps. I don't know if we have so much time to present it in depth, but we can see here that the first research question is how can the impact of certain technologies be framed under the lens of digital transformation. The literature, most of the literature focus on the technical development of technologies, and there is limited research examining how technologies are integrated in the broader organization to create business value. And for this reason, Krauss, in a seminal study, emphasized the need for further research to that appears relevant to initiate more research aimed at studying the impact of certain technologies for realizing and supporting different digital transformation-related efforts. And for this reason, we frame this research question. Next, empirical research on the connection between digital transformation and business model innovation is scarce and fragmented. And for this reason, and in order to have a complete frame, we have a sub-question regarding how can digital transformation significantly impact business model innovation. And as we discussed before about the new wave of digital transformation, the AI transformation, we have a third research question: how can AI transformation, as the new stage right now of digital transformation, be framed and analyzed? Nevertheless, from our literature review, derives that small businesses have some vulnerabilities due to their size that may play a crucial role in their digital transformation, and for this reason, we need to further research this phenomenon in these particular companies, as also literature ignore research on small business to see whether it is possible to implement digital transformation in a meaningful way. When it comes to our research approach, this thesis employs a mixed method approach, integrating qualitative and quantitative data and research strands. And of course, there are some strengths of mixed methods, such as that we address both exploratory and confirmatory questions. We utilize the strengths of diverse methods, and we can deepen our understanding about a complex phenomenon. And here you can see that mixed methods have sequential design, concurrent design, and the independent mixed method design, when the parallel research strands influence through a process of cross-fertilization and inter-element inferences one each other. And for this thesis, we have a complex research stage. We have, as discussed before, a preliminary study, a survey. We can see the various phases: design phase, collect phase, and analyze phase. Let me just give me a moment to start my laptop. Okay, here. Okay, then we have the second phase that we have two parallel research strands, one qualitative and one quantitative. One relevant to RQ and one relevant to RQ1, and then in the end we have RQ3, the final study about AI transformation. Here you can see an overview of the research design. Our first study aims to understand the digital transformation in the context of small businesses, exploiting a survey of 500 firms. Then, based on the results, the aim is to provide initial empirical evidence that will enable us to understand the digital transformation better and decide about the more suitable entities to examine RQ1 and RQ2 and RQ3. Based on the results, small businesses, they do not follow a comprehensive digital transformation. For this reason, RQ2 examines the impact of digital transformation in business model innovation based on a survey of 250 firms in Greece. The data collection is implemented with a consulting firm. And then we have RQ1, that is a qualitative case study, real life multiple case study analysis of advanced digital transformation, digital twin projects in manufacturing. And then we have RQ3 as about AI, but we will discuss it in detail in the next slides. Here we have the first preliminary study about the digitalization in the context of small businesses. As you can see, here are the key dimensions of our research framework we highlight with this study. We examine digital technologies and key resources and capabilities, as well as some key outcomes of those technologies to understand better. Here we have some details about data collection analysis. We implemented phone interviews, and this research was funded by Cosmote, leading telecommunication company in Greece, but we don't have time to further elaborate on this. And as part of this thesis, we implemented a digital readiness index to assess the digital maturity of small businesses based on 4 dimensions: the digital presence and communication, such as technologies, website, digital communication, digital transaction and promotion, social media, etc., digital infrastructure and information systems for resource management. And employing this digital readiness index that evaluate 10 digital technologies that small business should use, we see that only 2 out of 10 small businesses are in the most advanced or ideal group, as you can see, meaning that the utilization of digital technologies in small business is very limited, and the majority stuck in elementary and basic phase. Also, small business face major challenges that hinder digital transformation, including lack of awareness. They don't actually know what is IoT or data analytics. As you can see, there are limited financial resources, insufficient support, etc. But there are some positive signs. Here we can see that more mature businesses utilize digital technologies to overcome COVID-related problems. And as we can see and see in the literature, small businesses implemented temporary business model innovation exploiting digital technologies. And also we can see an association between the digital maturity of businesses and the business outcomes, as you can see, cost reduction, increased sales, etc., etc. For the 4 phases of digital maturity, we see a clear improve the performance in each category. So from this first study, the main findings that the small businesses are currently in the digitalization phase. Hence, in the following studies, we need to focus in larger organizations. Then, in the first main study, we have a question right now.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that the 15 minutes have passed, but
Sorry,
you can take a couple of minutes to conclude.
Okay, I will try to make it fast.
Thank you.
Here we have the first main study about the impact of digital transformation in business model innovation. As you can see, here are the key dimensions of the framework highlighted. Here is our research model. We empirically test using a data set employed with Graham Thornton, Greece. So here is the model that digital organizational culture along with digital transformation can lead companies to achieve systematic innovation in the business model. Here I will pass quickly the sample of the survey, the data collection and analysis, and also all the SEM. We implemented SEM to test our research model. And the key takeaways of this study is that digital culture alone is not enough to drive innovation. Digital transformation act as the catalyst that empowers and influences innovation with its impact and significantly applied when reinforced by the right organizational culture. And when it comes to research question 2, demonstrating that digital transformation can enable business model innovation. And also relevant to our next question about AI, we can see that we need to focus in larger businesses in order to have meaningful data for AI, as Greek companies are very utilize all 1 out of 10 in a meaningful way AI. So the next study is about digital twins and digital transformation projects, case studies in the context, framing specific technologies in the context of digital transformation. Here we employ all the key dimensions of the framework. We analyze studies including MODAPTO and FactLog, and here you can see the scope of the case studies, the problematic events and manufacturing entities transform. Here we can see the data collection and analysis. We have interviews and analysis of project reports, and we structure the results utilizing our research model for digital transformation. And here you can see how we map we created a methodology to map a digital transformation project such as MODAPTO, for example, in the context of the organization. Here we have the entity dimension, digital technologies, resources, capabilities, and the scope of transformation. And in the end, we map the outcomes, the economic outcomes, the capability outcomes, etc. Based on our research, we see that with those projects, we achieve business process transformation, and there is a potential for customer experiences, business model, and the need for organizational transformation as well. And also, utilizing this model, we can propose further strategic outcomes and roles of digital technologies, how this, for example, project can evolve in order to acquire more outcomes. And also, we define some contextual factors, some triggers, challenges, and enablers, such as the lack of training, investment cost, factory-wide instrumentation, and digital cultural stuff. And utilizing our research model, you can see a framing and visualizing of the evaluation of digital implementation in the context of digital transformation, meaning that this methodology can be used in order to frame and analyze a digital transformation project such as MODAPTO, for example, in its case study, in its company. Next, in the final study, as we validate all the dimensions of our research framework, we saw that we can analyze a real-life transformation project utilizing the dimensions of the framework. We aim to take this framework and create another and extend it to propose AI transformation and introduce AI transformation, utilizing a company of 1,600 companies. Here you can see the data collection and analysis process, the data gathering implemented by Dialectica, a global market insights company, in the December and November of 2024. And you can see here the data collection. We have very big businesses. For example, 31% of companies have a turnover over $5 billion, and also 42% of the sample have 10,000 number of employees and more. And we have incorporated from various regions and from diverse different industries, energy, technology, telecom, education, etc. We have across all sectors of economy. And here we conceptualize AI transformation, extrapolating our research framework. We define AI transformation. I don't think we have a lot of time to explain that, but before, the same is logic, how AI technologies along with AI capabilities and resources can enable AI outcomes. And here we created, based on the results, we map in 2 dimensions how companies have achieved to reinforce and redefine value proposition based on our definition. And we see that only 5% of those big companies have achieved meaningful results, including cost optimization, revenue growth, innovation, and differentiation of competition. And there is a 30% of companies that utilize digital technologies, but they don't have any of these important outcomes. Nevertheless, 80% of companies utilize AI, and only 5% have achieved meaningful results till now. Also, we have a differentiation analysis between AI adapters and AI transform, the companies that achieve meaningful results. We see, of course, a difference in the utilization of digital technologies. More advanced companies utilized more complex technologies, as you can see, fraud detection system, knowledge management, computer vision, recommendation system, etc. And the difference here is that those companies have some key capabilities that differentiate from AI adapters and the companies they don't adapt, as you can see in this slide: organization support, resource prioritization, use case planning, test strategic alignment, data volume and data availability, etc. So there are some key capabilities that we need many time to discuss any of these capabilities. And for all capabilities, the AI transformed are more advanced. And closing, I want to present also here
Timoleon,
yes, okay.
Yeah, I think you should go to
Sorry, I'll
conclusion.
close.
Yeah.
I will conclude it. Here you can see also the different, some important outcomes and the strategic goals also change. And here you can see the mapping of AI of those of this framework based on the results. We also propose a practitioner framework for AI, and I think the main contribution is we analyze digital transformation in the context of small businesses, and we provide evidence about digital transformation. I don't think we have time to see all the managerial, etc. Okay, thank you.